Guess who's back again. Breeny's back. Tell your friends. Oh my god, if you guys are interested in a master like this, see the description box. It is so cute and fancy, child. Yes, I am back like I never left. Where the hell have you been, Breeny? We've been waiting for you. I know. I have been away, mainly on vacation, taking a break. I was actually in the sunny islands of the Caribbean, Antigua to be precise, and I had the best vacation ever. I needed to take a break. I have also been super busy trading, securing the bag, helping my team. So if you do want to learn how to trade, if you do want to secure the bag 2021 and beyond, make sure you guys check out the links in the description box to join my trading team. And as you can see, I am in a different setup. It's actually the same living room that I was in my last couple of videos. But of course, I've currently been refurbishing my living room, which I will be showing you guys in a few weeks. Shout out to Excellent Finish, who has done an excellent job. This room is now my favorite room in the house. But without further ado, what you guys came for. So for those of you who have been watching the viral show Blue Therapy, and can I first give props to Andy? He is a bloody genius. He just knows what we want to see with a production quality that is amazing. He just knows how to get people talking, and I rate it. So for those of you who don't know, Blue Therapy has been framed as a social experiment. To be honest, I don't necessarily see the social experiment in it, but all I do see is two couples who are in therapy, and we're basically like the fly on the wall that gets to take a look into two couples therapy session. And if you talk to any therapist, especially couple therapists, they will tell you this is exactly how it goes. It's real and it is raw. And for those of you who are saying it's not real, it's scripted, believe what you want. I personally know what fake looks like and feels like, but let's just say that it's not real, okay? Let's just say that these are bloody superb, fantastic actors and actresses. All the situations and issues they have brought up is real life, okay? It happens to people in their real life. So even if it is fake and scripted, which I don't believe it is, I have seen and I have also experienced a lot of the things that these couples have experienced and have gone through.
And mine alone. Bearing in mind, both of us are busy.
Now with myself, I'm an earner. Do you understand? I will go out and I will come back and I'm bringing the bacon for.
So we're going to act like, or we're going to believe just for a moment, that this is real. And those who know me and know that I promote therapy, always have promoted therapy. I think it's one of the best things that people can do to invest in themselves, to invest in their relationships, and to invest in their future. So I hope you guys, after watching this, whether you're single or are in a relationship, that you can go and find someone to talk to that will help you with your life or your relationship. But like most of you, I dedicated 6 weeks, okay, to watching Blue Therapy religiously. I was hooked, my partner was hooked, my friends were hooked, and you guys definitely must have seen me in the comments. And every time I commented, you guys were saying, Breeny, please make a video on this, please make a reaction. And I was like, I'm not gonna do one week to week, that's just not my vibe at all. But I thought, let me get to the end of this and let me make a summary video. However, as I was thinking about how to even take this video, how to actually spin it, there's so much to talk about. There's so many different things to get into. There's Deborah, there's Jamel, there's Chioma. But what I want to talk about in this video, and what I know I need to talk about in this video, is Paul, as Chioma will call him, Paul's narcissism, okay? I have been meaning to make an updated narcissism video. I actually made one 3 years ago, so I feel like this is the perfect opportunity for you guys to see what narcissism looks like in action. And of course, I don't know Paul, but as Paul put himself forward for a social experiment, he has given us free reign to critique him and to criticize him. And the one thing that narcissists do not like is to be criticized, because they like to maintain control. Well, I'm sorry, boo. You gave away your control and your rights when you decided to go on the show. So If you are a lady and you've been watching Blue Therapy and you've been watching Paul's antics, Jamel's antics, I know that you guys have been triggered. And it's not so much to do with the characters on the show. It's more so to do with us relating back to the experiences that we've had in our own lives dealing with men exactly like Paul. And we also, as women, we relate to the collective pain of other women. So Chioma, okay, we feel her pain. Like, we feel her pain. And I know as I was watching it, there were some moments I was cringing. I was like, girl, if I could just shake you. But it is my delight to announce that Chioma has broken up the relationship with Paul. And sometimes you just need to you just need other people to see or put on display what you've been dealing with in private. And anyone that's dealt with a narcissist understands that it's the most crippling, frustrating relationship that you could ever be in. And most people don't understand what it feels to be with a narcissist, because on the outside, everything looks great. They show themselves to be a provider, someone that takes care of business, someone that is qualified, someone that looks good. And that's one of the deceptive things about narcissists, is they always look good on the outside. It's not until you come inside the home that you actually realize that this person is full of shit. But let's get into this video. And I just want to show you guys a quick clip that I made that puts Paul's narcissism on full display. Check this out.
What defines someone to be a narcissist?
A narcissist, it's a person who lacks empathy, who's really entitled, meaning that they expect special treatment to be given to them, but nobody else.
I understand, bald head, beard, I'm a hunky guy.
They're very grandiose, they harbor huge fantasies, they only want to affiliate with people they think are as cool or as interesting as they are.
I literally work with high net worth individuals, influencers, celebrity. I have a good number of very decent high net worth clients. I have affluent people that I associate myself with. Also my clients are quite wealthy too.
They're very superficial. They're very concerned about their appearance, the appearance of people around them. I always think of them as beautiful facades with not a lot behind them.
You're now telling her to ask me what she wants from me, when she is the one that is ruining our brand.
Our brand? How is my Instagram got anything to do with you? Because I'm dancing, I'm humiliating myself, and I'm humiliating us as a couple. Come off your high horse.
They don't regulate their emotions very well. They're very prone to throwing tantrums, getting angry very quickly, especially if they don't get their way.
It's getting nobody anywhere.
Exactly, and that's why the fuck I'm leaving
something that you have
wasting my
nothing to
time.
do with.
You, thank you and no thank you.
What are you claiming?
Can someone carry this equipment, please?
Where are you going? I knew he was going to walk out at some point. He likes to run away from problems, and that's what he's done now.
Yeah, privacy? Yeah, am I gonna have privacy? Will you give me a minute?
And they can be really hypersensitive to criticism. They're willing to dole it out, but they absolutely can't take it.
I feel like Choma's very selfish. What's funny?
Well, how am I selfish? Because I want to cook for you.
Okay, but what's funny though?
The fact you just said I'm selfish.
But
what does that
when
mean?
you were talking, I wasn't laughing.
No,
They tend to be jealous.
She posted a picture, beautiful, right? Now, if she has a comment from a guy, love struck, then if she's liking and commenting on it, oh, thanks, hun, do you think that's necessary?
I can post a selfie and a man can comment. Bearing in mind, this could be a man I don't know, or it could be one of my male friends. Paul would have an issue with that. I will hear headache. He will tell me to delete the comment. So why are you liking it? I am friendly by nature. For example, we could go out for dinner and I could wear a really nice dress. Paul would not say anything. He'll take the picture at the end of the evening and I can post in that dress and people will love the dress. All of a sudden he'll say, oh, the dress is nice, but why are they commenting? Why are they doing this? Why couldn't you say it before? To me, it's like, he's probably upset because I get the attention that he's not giving me. I trust you and I feel as though you wouldn't cheat. So why don't you give me that same trust?
They engage in something called gaslighting, where they literally doubt your own reality, leaving you feeling like you've gone crazy.
Babe.
His sister hates me.
Babe.
And he thinks that it's normal.
Babe, you need healing, babe.
Go away, man, because you're not listening to me.
In the last 6 months, have you weighed yourself? I'm just asking.
What?
Okay. Have you ever calculated your calorie intake?
They don't tend to be very loyal. They do tend to throw temper tantrums. They get pleasure out of the misery of other people. They're kind of mean. Gaslighting looks like, literally, like I said, when somebody kind of denies your reality. So you might say something like, I feel really sad that you said that to me. And they'd say something like, you have no right to say that. You have no right to feel that way. Then you'll have an argument with them, and they will have said something terrible to you a couple of days before. And you'll say, listen, when you said, and they'll say, I never said that. And so it's literally like they deny your reality. And when somebody says, I never said that, most normal people tend to question themselves.
Things were a bit different.
In what way? I've gained weight.
I did say that.
Then what then? What's the problem?
Well, would you know if you gained weight?
All my clothes still fit, so I wouldn't think I've gained weight.
Would you know?
I guess, yeah. I haven't gained weight. Have I gained weight? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I'm not trying to say you gained weight, but since we're on the topic, let's have the discussion. So,
This is like the guy who's like, I need a hot girlfriend.
Right.
You know, it's that kind of a model of like, I need to look good, but my partner makes me look good.
Paul met me on Instagram. Can we deep that? Can we take that in? Like, he met me on this same platform he no longer wants me to post. This same platform that he doesn't like the way I carry myself was the same platform he came to me on. Is this making sense to anyone? Because I'm confused. He was in my DMs, and now all of a sudden I should stop responding to them. He was in the comments, he was liking the pictures. Now he doesn't even follow me.
let me give you a tiny bit of coaching now. There's a difference between a brand and the face of a brand.
People who are narcissistic often feel very empty inside. And that emptiness is a very difficult thing to fill. And even if they meet someone who's not narcissistic and fall in love with them, the problem is that poor person who's not narcissistic will often feel really unheard in that relationship.
I love this man, I really do, but he just doesn't see from my perspective. I don't even feel like, I don't know if he loves me. That's just the honest truth.
So this video is going to be an analysis of the character Paul Bridges. And I know full well his mum did not name him Paul, and I don't know what white man he stole his surname from, because your surname, darling, is not Bridges. But just on the onset and our first introduction to Paul.
Hello, Paul. How was the traffic?
Terrible,
Oh,
but
was
we're
it?
here. We made it.
Paul is not a happy person. You can look into his eyes and see that his eyes are dead. Not only watching Blue Therapy, but watching his other interviews, watching his lives, you can look into his eyes and see that he is not a happy person. He's got dead eyes. He talks with a very monotone voice. He's almost emotionless. He does a lot of talking with his head, but his heart you'll never really be able to penetrate. He's very stiff and rigid. When I first watched the first episode, people were calling him an uncle, and I didn't really see why they were calling him an uncle, but he's very rigid. His mind is very rigid, very unmoving, very unreasonable, very hard to talk to, right? He's like a block of wood, like literally wood. And he is deeply insecure. And I know he gives off this, I'm an alpha male, talks about himself a lot. They say empty barrels make the most noise, right? I really despise people that talk about themselves. And I'm not talking about the times when you ask someone, what do they do? But the people that talk about themselves unprovoked. Like, nobody asked you. Nobody asked you for details. Like, nobody asked you. Just take it down with you. And I know what a confident man looks like. But most confident, truly confident people are quiet. It's quiet confidence. Paul has this over exaggeration about himself, which we're going to get into a little bit more in this video. But one thing that sticks out to me about Paul is that he just has to be in control of a situation. Who answers a question with another question? It is so bloody frustrating to talk to someone that does not answer a question directly. And that is one of the traits of a narcissist. Narcissists do not play fair. When having a conversation with a normal person, you are assuming that they are listening to you, that they're trying to understand you, that they have every intention of meeting in the middle. But with a narcissist, you'll notice that there is no intention and no desire to meet in the middle.
Because you've eradicated the whole love aspect of our relationship. I'm a woman, I'm not wood. Do you understand? Like, I've got a heart.
Now, this is the problem that I have with women, right?
They have no desire to understand your point of view. And it's almost his agenda not to hear what you are saying. Even if you are speaking so plainly.
You're kind of being unfair to me, babe. And you have been for a while. And yeah, I love him and I kind of want to work through this, but I need him to understand and to kind of see what he's doing.
There's so many times in Blue Therapy that we completely understand what Chioma's saying. But meanwhile, here's the point and here's Paul.
You see the conversation we're having now, I wouldn't be able to have it at home with Paul because he gets so heated or he dismisses me. So if I'm expressing
now what you'd like him to do.
I would like you to give me some love, like some affection. Acknowledge that I'm there. Do you know what I mean? Just, I don't know what to say because, yeah, I don't know. Just
Babe, you're taking a fucking piss. And you're laughing. Look. No.
Constantly missing each other. And that's why the therapist has to keep asking them, do you feel like you're on the same page? And it is impossible to be on the same page with a narcissist because they are committed to misunderstanding you. Why? Because his goal is not to get from A to B, which is the purpose of communication. We don't just talk for talking's sake. We talk to make a point. We talk to get through. Conversation is a vehicle, but not Paul. His only agenda is to remain in control.
Paul, what exactly?
No.
You're saying something.
You brought up. Let's have the conversation. I didn't bring it up. We're in therapy and it's a safe place. Let's have the conversation. Now,
if you could see in that room, right? Paul was trying to maintain control. Tried to control Denise, the therapist, tried to control the conversation, tried to control where it went. The therapist couldn't even do her job by asking the question.
Can I just ask, what's the last loving thing you did for
Denise?
Yeah, Denise.
Look, we're not going to play the whole turn each other against each other. When's the last time you bought flowers? Look, forget about all of that. Let's get down to what it is now. Just to briefly go over this, right? As far as I understand, you've been called, or employed rather, to basically help us in our relationship to get better, right? Okay. So how do you think you're doing so far?
Okay, first, don't be rude.
Because controlling Paul had to control the narrative. So they never really got anywhere. Like, there's not one episode that ended with any kind of resolution. It makes for good TV, yeah, but it is very frustrating to be in a relationship with someone where you never feel like you're getting anywhere. And one of the common intentions with a narcissist is for them to reframe narratives. You'll confront them about something and they'll say, no, that's not what I mean. And that is another form of gaslighting. They're trying to throw you off. They're trying to make you feel unsure about what you're saying. They're trying to make you feel insecure because you have to remain under them. They have to remain in control.
She's bringing us here and she keeps on bringing it up. Those are the type of things that she needs to deal with within herself. Self-healing, basically. That's what she needs to practice for herself.
They need you to be unstable and they need you to be confused. The goal of a narcissist is to confuse you and throw you off track so that you never get to the point of holding them accountable. Holding a narcissist accountable is like trying to grasp hold of a wet fish. They are trying their hardest to wriggle their way out of your hands. I have not seen one interview of Paul where he was not in control of the whole conversation.
So much, but you know it should
Okay,
compromise
let me
and do
ask
it
you-
sometime.
Let me ask you another question. Do you eat palm oil?
Let's
Okay,
hear
yeah,
some
let's break it down. Let's break it down. Look.
Yeah.
We're not doing examples, but what we're gonna do, yeah, is basically. Okay, let me ask you another question.
Go on.
Are you okay for me to ask you questions?
Yeah, cool, go on, throw it at me.
Now, if you're actually okay, let's say for instance,
how you being interviewed by a young woman, but now you're asking her questions. Guys, this is control. And there was one Instagram live that he did, and there's this black woman that had curly hair with her hair in front of her face, and people were like, this is the only woman that's able to get through to him, a black woman. No, this is all part of the game. No, she did not get through to him at all. She did not get through to him at all. One thing, it was probably the last conversation that he had on the live. So he was tired of arguing, tired of defending himself, right? And as much as he was trying to act like he was agreeing with what the lady was saying, by literally saying the words, I agree, or I hear you. Just because someone says I hear you does not mean that they're internalizing it. Everything that she was saying to him was going for his back. The next day, he'll be back to his old tricks. He was just saying, okay, cool, to basically take the pressure off of himself. And that's why Paul could never be interviewed by someone like me, because I'ma hold his ass to the fire. He could never try to spin me, and he cannot spin the public either. That's why he's so annoyed and offended by people criticizing him, because we're not in a relationship with you, Paul. We're not in love with you, so we can see clearly who you are. You had 6 episodes to redeem yourself, but yeah, everyone saw exactly who you are. And I would love to come on this video and give Paul the benefit of the doubt, but brother, you make it very hard for us. And Paul is a master at deflecting, which is the reason why he'll never answer a question directly. Paul, what do you do for a living? Well, why are you asking me that? I thought we came here for something else. Answer the bloody question, Paul. Paul! I'm gonna be having nightmares like, Paul, get it off me, Paul. Paul has tormented the nation. So like I was saying, the act of deflecting is to throw you off track, to make you question yourself, and so that you don't stay on the point with what you're actually arguing about. And in the argument, you'll get to a point of, instead of talking about what they did, you'll find yourself defending yourself, because they're going to make brash statements or make up lies or accuse you of something. So now the point is over here, and instead of you staying on that point, you're now defending yourself, because they are trying to deflect and take the heat off of them and place it onto you.
But at the end of the day, I think the question that you should be asking Choma is, if she is getting into a relationship with a person like myself, I don't want to say bringing to the table, but
What am I bringing to the table?
I'm not.
And of course, as you can imagine, having to do this day in, day out can become very, very frustrating. The only emotion to explain living with and being in a relationship with a narcissist is frustration. And by the end of the argument, you're so exhausted that you don't even care. You may even feel like, oh, why are we even arguing about this? And that's exactly what they want. That's exactly where they want to have you. Narcissists hate conflicts, but they're the most conflicted people on the planet. People like Paul come to disagreements not with the intention of understanding and moving past it, but to dominate, to reinstate his authority.
She knows my perspective on this. I'd prefer we go to a church and we sit down with a pastor in a corner. But, you know, us getting to this extent where we're actually here for a social experiment, it's just, it doesn't make sense. I think it's gonna go south, like, I'm 90% sure, but at the end of the day, I'll just say, look, I told you so.
Narcissists are very, very stubborn people. They are wrong and strong. And here's another thing that they do when they're trying to deflect and keep the attention off of them. They will start throwing out random facts, random information, bombarding you with information, even changing the subject on something that is completely irrelevant to you, the relationship, and what you're talking about. They'll start throwing around accusations, making you feel guilty for things that you haven't done, gaslighting you, making you feel stupid. And especially the people that are very articulate. Articulate people can make you feel stupid even when what you're saying makes sense. And Paul talks a lot but makes no sense, right? And people that are not good listeners, to them it may sound like Paul is making a good point, but Paul does not make any good points. He just deflects. And let's say he did make a point about a fact or an information that was actually right. The viewer's attention is now focused on the fact that, well, yeah, that's right, or that's true, or that makes sense. But in the context of what we're talking about, it doesn't make sense and it shouldn't have been brought in. But he's doing this to deflect moving like Mary J. Blige or Little Kim. Trying to deflect everything. And if they can't win with deflecting, or they may feel like they need to use another trick, they will start being immature, making weird faces, saying stupid jokes.
At some point, if you were to both get onto each other's page,
Preach.
it would be an easier solution.
Period.
There's no period and there's no preach. So stop doing that, because that's patronizing.
Just to deflect. It's all a form of deflection. Why? Because they do not want to be held accountable. They don't want conflict. Narcissists will invalidate your feelings, try to humiliate you, and try to gain power over you.
I understand that you love me, but I also understand I love me. Okay?
So you don't want to have sex?
No, what I'm saying is, you need to love you first.
I love me.
You need to love you more.
Paul in Blue Therapy countless times passed the buck and blamed Chioma.
That massage has to end with a happy ending.
Why are you saying it like I did something wrong?
But that's not a happy ending.
Sex is not a happy ending.
No, if a massage has to have a happy ending, that is not a happy ending. Do you see where I'm coming from? In the last 6 months, have you weighed yourself? I'm just asking.
What?
Okay. Have you ever calculated your calorie intake?
And am I saying that Chioma is totally innocent? Absolutely not. We're not talking about Chioma right now. But when someone is such an idiot, such a jackass, it makes the other person look like a bloody angel. And when you're having a disagreement with someone, if someone's saying that they don't like something that you did, accept it, acknowledge it, and apologize. And then and only then can you tell them what you don't like about what they've done. Sometimes in arguments, it's just like, you did this, you did that, you did that, you did that. And you have to, one person has to stop and acknowledge and say, okay, I hear what you're saying. I understand your point of view, but this is what you've done. And maybe this is the reason why I reacted that way, because of something that you've done. It's a way to speak in love to someone. And I can tell that Chioma is so frustrated. It's frustrating. She has the patience of a saint. Honestly, to do that for 3 years with Paul, hey, I couldn't even have done it for 4 hours. People like Paul who are narcissistic are so sensitive to criticism, but at the same time, so insensitive to other people's feelings. When Paul insinuated that the reason why they don't have sex is because he can't pick Chioma up because she gained weight, they went from Chioma talking about Paul not wanting to eat the food that she makes to him saying that the reason I don't have sex with you is because you put on weight and because you cook with palm oil. Guys, are we clocking the confusion? It doesn't make any sense. And here's one thing that I want to talk about Paul, which is very disturbing to me. Paul is ashamed of himself. He is ashamed of his culture, and he's ashamed of Chioma, who loves and embraces her own culture.
I get home, we've got the fucking Afrobeats WizKid pumping in the house, yeah? Chomba's there dancing around. You come in the house to fucking play a WizKid like we're in a fucking village. What type of crap is that? Choma has this whole kind of Afrocentric type of, oh, go back to Africa, I'm African and I'm proud. Yeah, we're all proud to be African, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, we're in London right now. Like, let's get with the program. Do you understand? Africa, yeah, we could do that another time. But right now we're here.
Paul is so focused on impressing people that don't care about him, and the people, his clients, are always going to reject him. Why? Because Paul is not authentic. He is not being himself. And Chioma recently exposed that he's been living a lie. Watch this.
Yeah, I've moved out. I'm done. Okay, and it'll be nice to see if he can pay the rent now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so what are you trying to say? Can you go into that a little bit more?
I'm trying to say I was doing 60-40. Best we could do is 50-50. So, I mean, now that I'm out of the picture, I would like to see him maintain that standard of living. I'm not here to bash Paul. I'm done with that situation. But one thing I will say is that before I left, because I had already made up my mind to leave, I did stumble across some documents. I just say that Paul allegedly, respectfully, may or may not be in debt. He may be living a facade. He may not have the money that he claims he has. that's probably what makes him act the way he acts, you know what I mean? And quite honestly, I'd like to say I was definitely sold a dream. I'm not saying I went in for the money or I stayed because I thought, you know, it was tucked away somewhere, but now we can clearly see that was all a lie.
Let's talk about Paul's clients. I just caught you out, Paul. I just caught you out, Paul. How are your clients influencers, celebrities, but they've never watched the show? You're lying.
So have any of your clients actually commented on, you know, your antics on the show so far?
My clients are not online.
I literally work with influencers, celebrities.
My clients are not online.
Influencers, celebrities.
They're not on YouTube. They're not on Instagram.
Influencers, celebrities.
They're not on YouTube. They're not on Instagram.
And did you see how he tried to be like, well, actually, I've got new clients, because the cognitive dissonance in his mind had to cover up for the lie. We don't know. We don't know who his clients are. But him talking about his clients leaves it open enough for us to believe that he's a professional, and small enough for him to start lying about it, because we don't see his clients. For all we know, Paul's clients are a figment of his imagination. And one thing I will say, if he really does have real clients, he is living vicariously through them. Paul is going through an identity crisis. He does not know who he is, because if he knew who he was, he wouldn't put so much value on his clients. I have clients, for goodness sake. I have brands that I work with. I would never sell myself out for my brand. Why? Because who I am, has much more value than any brand I could work with. I do not get my identity with the brands and the people that I work with. I am who I am, and I love being who I am. Nobody can make me sell out. And one thing Choma said is that Paul is constantly chasing the bag, and insecure people will always be chasing money, and money will always be evading them. Why? Because money only clings to people who know who they are. Money only sticks with people who are not trying to chase it. The more you chase money, the more that it gets away. One thing Paul needs to do is get comfortable with who you are. First of all, change your name, because your name is not Paul Bridges. That is funny. That is banter. And as much as we all want to be seen as professionals, I'm going to be who I am. I am a black, dark-skinned, Caribbean woman, and I am proud of myself. And I am not going to compromise to try and get this person over here or this person over here. If you guys have seen my subscribers, everyone's diverse. And I didn't get my diverse clients by being someone else. I got my diverse clients by being myself. Paul, it is okay to be who you are. It is okay to be on the level that you are. Stop living above your means to impress other people. It's a shit way to live. Anyone that gets their value from other people has no self-worth at all. And the fact that he would say that, whenever someone says, I don't want to say this, but they say it, they do want to say it, right? He called Choma Bush for listening to Wizkid cooking African food. Like, you're ashamed. You're ashamed of your culture. And it's embarrassing. Like, to us, it is very embarrassing. To your clients, it is very embarrassing. Your clients would respect you more if you embraced who you are. That's what makes you unique. Like, it's like those people that are pretending not to be black. Like, everyone can see you're black, for goodness sake.
Just go away.
Sorry, maybe that didn't come out right. I don't want to get off on the wrong foot.
Can I just stop you there? Yeah? Now, I don't know what pirate radio station you've come from, or whom you mugged to get in here.
What are you going on about?
I don't want you asking me for recipes for rice and peas.
What makes you think I want anything from you? I mean, I was just paying you a compliment. What's your problem?
Look, I've been working here for 7 years now, and no one, absolutely no one knows I'm black. And I'd like to keep it that way.
And your point is?
Well, you being here is just making me blacker.
Love yourself, Paul. Don't tell Choma that she needs to love herself. And one thing, being in a narcissistic relationship with someone like that, and I saw it, the Choma that I know on the back chat and the Choma that was sitting there looked completely different. And being in a relationship with a narcissist like that, they can wear out your self-esteem, because you saw how this guy was trying to control her social media. The girl said, I don't even post anymore. That is Choma's job. That's where she gets her money. That's her joy. How are you going to let a man stop you from posting? And this is the thing, when a woman loves a man, she will do anything. But ladies, do not lose yourself in a relationship. Paul sold Choma a dream. And this is what narcissists do. They love bomb you in the beginning. Make you feel like they're the greatest thing on earth. Make you feel like you won a prize. But it's only a matter of time when the masks come off, because they cannot act for long. Once they've got you, then they start taking the mask off and they become themselves. So us asking, how could Chioma handle this for 3 years? It probably wasn't like this for 3 years. It's probably the last year, 2 years that the mask has come off. But it's too late, because why? You're in love with them. You're already in love with them. And can we talk about Paul's contradictions? He talks about wanting Chioma to be a housewife. First of all, Chioma can't be a housewife because you don't have enough money. Chioma said that she was paying 60-40. I don't know if that's 60 for her or 60 for him. Either way, it was pretty much 50-50. How are you saying you want a housewife and you haven't got money? Housewives are reserved for people who have money to look after their housewife.
So if you're talking about me becoming a housewife, clearly, because you're talking about finances and me bringing something to the table, what's wrong with being a housewife? Was that the plan we had when we first met?
It's a genuine question.
I don't want to be a housewife. There's nothing wrong with it, but I don't want to be a housewife. I have a choice. We just moved in together 6 months ago, and all of a sudden that has now become my duty and mine alone. Bearing in mind, both of us are busy.
Now, with myself, I'm an earner. Do you understand? I will go out and I will come back and I'm bringing the bacon for real. Do you understand? If that's the case, and I'm able to provide for the both of us and kids in the future from now, why would she stress herself being out, trying to earn the same thing that I already have? Sit down.
He only wants her to be a housewife because he wants to control her. But in one of his interviews, he was talking about he wants a housewife, but at the same time, he said that if Chioma was more busy, then maybe she wouldn't be complaining so much. But then if she wasn't complaining, you'd be complaining that she's too busy. What do you want from her, Paul? What more do you want from me?
I'm at $13,000 a month. What more do you want from me?
You don't want Chioma. You just want to be in control. A fine babe like Chioma. Guys, do you know how much man them love Chioma? Even from back that days, everyone loves Chioma. She's just got that spice, okay? She just got that. She got it. Do you know how many men want Chioma? And you've got an ungrateful, bald-headed, average at best guy making her feel like she's not a gift, making her feel like she's not a prize. Chioma, baby girl, you are the prize. You the prize, okay? You the prize. Don't ever let anyone make you feel less of a person. And I know how it is. Sometimes we go into relationships with low self-esteem. And that's one thing I talk about on the channel. You cannot go into a relationship with low self-esteem. And a lot of people, we don't realize that we don't love ourselves. We don't realize that we have low self-esteem until you get in situations like this and you're like, whoa, I legit lost myself. Why did I lose myself? Because I put this guy above me. This guy is better than me in some way. Lastly, I will say, because there's so much more to talk about, but I'm not about to sit here and make an hour video, okay? I respect you guys' time. Paul withheld information about him being depressed. He withheld information about the guy that was doing Chioma's website and only brought it out to complain about it. That's unacceptable. Sorry. You can't have an issue with something that you haven't talked about. Don't start throwing around depression because you want to be the victim, but you never told her that you had a problem with your weight. That's the reason why you don't want her cooking particular foods. Chioma strikes me as someone that's like myself. I'm a very reasonable person. There's not much you can't come and tell me about, right? So if you had a conversation, I would be able to have compassion. But don't just be bitching and complaining about something that I have no idea and then bring it up when it's convenient for you to use the victim card. Nobody rates that. The contradictions with Paul are just many. And I'm so glad that Chioma has understood her worth, known her value, and added tax and left him in the dust. It is soul destroying to be with a narcissist. And if you feel like you are in a relationship with a narcissist or if you've experienced a narcissist, please go to therapy. Please go to therapy. A lot of people that experience narcissists have PTSD. So don't just think that you can leave this relationship and go into another one. No. And one thing about Paul that Chioma has said is that he's chasing her. Behind the scenes, he's chasing her to get her back. Because narcissists need their supply. And the people that narcissists are attracted to are codependent people. To me, Chioma seems like a sweet girl. Perfect? No, nobody is. However, it seems like she has tried. It was sad how this ended because all he had to say was,
I apologize deeply from the bottom of my heart. And I promise that's not a situation that would ever be in again. In Jesus' name.
I didn't actually.
You will be able to have a baby in Jesus' name. And she just was like, oh, because what these narcissists do, they feed you crumbs, right? So you're so drained that any positivity, any affirmation, any appreciation, you hold on to it for dear life. You should not be starved of affection, attention from your man. If you tell someone that you want affection, you want attention, and they make it seem like it's a problem, they don't try to change it, get rid of them. Now, I'm always going to be team woman. I absolutely love and advocate for women. That does not mean that I don't hold them accountable. But I just love me some women. Y'all are my babies. I don't care if you're older than me. Women are my babies. Why? Because we are, no matter how much we like to think that we're strong, independent, don't need anyone, self-sufficient, we are deep down inside very, very fragile. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that we need to be handled with more care. When you have delivery guys, on the boxes, they have fragile written on it, right? Because those things inside need to be treated with more care than the other boxes. He has to think before he moves the box. He has to go slowly, and he has to give the box more attention. And you guys know I'm a Christian and I can't talk about this topic without bringing the Bible in. But in 1 Peter 3:7, it talks about women being the more delicate vessel, okay? So 1 Peter 3:7 says, likewise, husbands, live with your wives in an understanding way, showing honor to the woman as the weaker vessel. In other translations, it says the delicate vessel, since they are heirs with you of the grace of life, so that your prayers may not be hindered. So you men treating women like they're garbage, treating your wives like they're garbage, you should fear God. And that's what I'm going to say. And so this is the end of the video. Let me know if you want me to do a character profile on Jamel and Deborah, because I personally feel like that is a very immature relationship. Let me know if you want a breakdown on that. I will make a quick video on that. But I hope you guys enjoy this video. In the description box, I will leave links to other videos to help you guys understand narcissism further. All I can say is, Choma, get well, okay? Get well soon. Paul, if your narcissism will allow you, please get help, because this is probably the reason why all of your relationships end. It's you. It's you. All right, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Please give us a thumbs up. Next video I am making is on Kevin Samuels. So make sure you guys stick around for that. Give us a thumbs up and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.